Anyway, so at the beginning of every year I actually, and this is not really what I'm going to talk about today, but it's a brief outline of this. At the beginning of every year I always ask God for a prophetic word for the year that's ahead of us, 2021. And this year I asked him for a prophetic word, and he's graciously always done this for about 5 or 6 years. So in the middle of my prayer about saying, God, what do you want me to say for this year, I had a vision. And the vision goes like this, if you want to know what the prophetic word was. The vision was I was standing behind my house, which is up there, and it faces straight into the southwest, which I can see Stewart Island outside, and that's southwest. And anybody that lived in New Zealand for a while knows the prevailing wind in New Zealand is usually west to southwest, and it can become a horrible kind of a wind. And my house is sheltered by lots of trees, that's good, but I was standing on the wind side of the trees. And when I asked him what it was going to be, I had a vision of me standing on the wind side of these trees, looking straight into the wind, and it was a howling wind, and I had to lean into it to stand up straight. Now that was what I got when I asked him a prophetic word, which I didn't find that encouraging, actually, to be honest. And so going through the day, I'm thinking, God, you showed me that, but is there an answer to that? I mean, otherwise, I don't feel that great about what you showed me about 2021. And so before I went to bed, I said, look, hey, I want you to give me a dream tonight that's a bit more than what you've just given me. Hey, we've got to be honest with God, you know. Otherwise, that's our relationship, is honesty with God. Expecting something, asking him something, and expecting some answer. So during the night, I had the dream. Having asked him before I went to bed for a dream, that was a continuation of the vision. And the dream goes like this, almost in the same place as where I was standing with this howling wind just forcing me backwards, and I was leaning into it. Celia and I were leading a white horse. That's what she started talking about this morning. We're leading a white horse, and it didn't have a bridle or a halter on its face like most horses, but it had a rope loosely around its neck. So the rope was loose, and as we were leading this white horse, the horse managed to slip out from inside the rope. If you understand that? It was no longer controlled by the rope, and it started running away from us. And behind my house, for your visitors, is a beach. It's 3 miles long. And this horse galloped down over the sandhills, and Celia and I were chasing it, and it got on the beach. And you know how a horse gallops, that rhythm? That's a sort of a galloping rhythm. Okay, that's not that good, I know, Andrea, but fair enough. I can get it. And so when it got on the beach, the galloping turned so fast, it turned into a hum. Like, that's how fast its feet were hitting the sand, right? Like just a high-pitched hum as it was going down the beach. And it ran down the beach, which is probably 3 miles long. It went for 2 miles absolutely straight as you could see. There was no deviation left or right. It went so fast. And then Celia and I were still chasing it. You can imagine we couldn't get near it. And we ran down the sandhills, but before we got from the last sandhill down onto the beach, the horse gently came back after having done that fast straight run, and it stood at the bottom of the sandhill, and it looked up at Celia and I with this very beautiful expression on its face, if you can have an expression on a white horse's face, and it looked like saying, Paul and Celia, I'm here, I'm at your service. I'm ready to do anything you require of me. So you like that? I kind of like that. So the point was, the horse ran straight down the beach, and the wind made no difference to it. We all know that the white horse in Revelations, as Celia said this morning, is Jesus Christ. And the thing was that as long as we kept control of Jesus and doing things our way, which is really like the rope around its neck, it couldn't go and do the horse couldn't do what it wanted to do. The horse was really devoid of all the power it had. Well, Jesus Christ was detuned by the rope. The horse was detuned by rope, and to a certain extent, if we did the same with Jesus, he would be detuned. And all the things that are in our head are often the things that hold Jesus back from showing us his power. So, you know, it can be things about us that just detune Jesus. Our fears, our doubts, our feeling of inferiority, our own personal pride, can all be things that can hold Jesus in, so he can't. So really Jesus is restricted to us. But to be honest, when we let that rope go, he showed his true colours. We need to know God's got some true colours that when we let him run, he can break through the headwind, whatever that headwind is in our lives, when we give him a chance. Let's get rid of all our inhibitions, all our inadequacies, all our guilt feelings, all our feelings of condemnation. They're all like a rope around the neck of Jesus Christ. When you let all that go and say, God, you know, I want you to show what it's like, and you say, I'm just going to let it all go, and it can happen, it will happen. You will sail into this headwind. So really, that's all I'm really going to say. All I'm saying is Jesus saying for you, Paul, the headwinds that are coming against you, you stay in with Jesus and don't deviate to the left or the right or where the horse is going straight, because you will get buffeted by the wind, and that wind could push you down to a place where you don't like to be. So that is a prophetic word for 2021. I'm sorry some of you people have heard it for the third time.